So, today we're going to talk about a really powerful process for unlocking energy you didn't even know you had. This is especially for you if on the outside you look like you have it all together, but on the inside you are just completely drained. We're going to go from feeling kind of numb to feeling totally alive. And you know what? It often starts with a feeling a lot like this.
Ah, right? Have you ever felt that? You finally sit down to relax, maybe at the end of a long day, and boom, your brain just gets flooded with everything you haven't done yet. I mean, this quote just nails it. It's that nagging, kind of gross feeling that just ruins a perfectly good moment. It's the weight of a to-do list that just never, ever ends.
And that whole to-do list thing, it's really just a symptom of something way bigger. Let's call it the numbness epidemic. This is that state where your life, your job, your family, all your accomplishments, it all looks great from the outside. But inside, you just feel disconnected. You're running on fumes, and by the time the day is over, the only thing you've got the energy for is to just check out. Binge watching some show or just scrolling endlessly on your phone. And these feelings, they create this really vicious cycle. Work starts to become your safe zone, right? Because it's predictable, you know the rules, you know how to win there. But then that leads to this wave of guilt for not spending time with family or friends. And to deal with that guilt, what do? We fill what little free time we have with distractions, not actual joy. And that just leaves you feeling even more stuck, more numb. It's a loop that is so hard to break. So what's the answer? Most of us, our first thought is, I just need more willpower. We beat ourselves up, right? If I were just more disciplined, I could get a handle on this. But here's the big idea we're going to unpack today. That is a complete myth. The problem is not some flaw in your character, and the answer is definitely not to just grind harder. Okay, this right here is the absolute key. It's a total shift in how you see the problem. On one side, you've got that voice in your head, the one we all know, saying, I'm lazy, I'm just not disciplined. But what if the real issue is something else entirely? You're not lazy. You're just disconnected from what you truly want. The energy you're missing isn't gone. It's just trapped. So, where is all this trapped energy? Well, here's the wild part. It's hiding in plain sight. It's locked up inside all those feelings we normally try to just shove down and ignore. Our frustrations, our little irritations, our resentments. So instead of running from those feelings, this whole method is about learning how to lean in and tap them as this incredible source of fuel and clarity. And the first tool we're going to use to do this is called the complaint activation. I want you to think of your biggest annoyance, that thing that drives you nuts. Think of it not as a problem, but as a compass. It is pointing you directly to where your most powerful energy is just waiting to be unlocked. So how do we do it? All right, so the process kicks off with two really simple, but trust me, very powerful steps. First, you just list your complaints. What are you always venting about? Like, there's this great example of a friend who's always complaining about having no time, even though she's totally in charge of her own schedule. Then comes step two, and this is the fun part. You get to let your petty side out. With zero judgment, what do you really think about that situation? You have to let yourself go there and voice that raw, unfiltered annoyance. Okay, so once you've really let that raw complaint have its say, you are ready for the magic trick. This is the pivot. This is where we take all that irritation and transform it into a crystal clear vision of what it is you truly desire. The next step is to imagine you have a magic wand. You're the ruler of your own universe. What would the absolute ideal version of this situation look like? Don't hold back. Let yourself dream big. Then, and this is so important, you do a body check. How does that vision actually feel inside you? If it doesn't feel 100% good, you just tweak it a little. You adjust that fantasy until you land on a feeling that is just, yes, that's it. And this is the kind of aha moment that can just hit you like a ton of bricks. So back to that example. After imagining this amazing, ideal life for her friend who was always complaining about time, a life filled with travel and learning and rest, the person had this sudden flash of insight. The vision she just created, it wasn't for her friend at all. It was a perfect, detailed description of the life she secretly wanted for herself. The complaint was actually a mirror. That moment of realization, when your complaint reveals your true desire, that's the gateway. Once you start connecting to these hidden desires, you begin to enter what's called a state of overflow. And this is the after. It's a life that's driven by what you truly want, not by what you feel obligated to do. And that's when action starts to feel energizing and almost effortless. So what does that actually look like in real life? Well, it means having energy again, real vitality. It means when you're with people you love, you're actually present with them, not distracted and rushed. It means playfulness and curiosity start showing up in your life again. Tasks that used to feel like such a chore, they just get done. And you get so much better at communicating what you actually need and want from people. Let me give you a quick, real-world example of this in action. There was a guy, let's call him GM, and he was totally stuck in this constant monthly hustle. Always stressed, always worried about getting enough clients just to pay the bills. But when he went through this process, he realized his true desire wasn't just more clients, it was to run these amazing retreats. The second he shifted his focus to that authentic desire, everything changed. His energy just skyrocketed, the stress melted away, and now he runs sold-out retreats every single quarter. That is the power of getting aligned with what you really want. So all of this brings us to one final question, and this one is for you. I want you to really think about it. What's that thing that really gets under your skin? That one complaint you find yourself making over and over again? What powerful, life-changing desire might be hiding in there, just waiting for you to finally uncover it?